Hi, guys. Welcome back to the library. Okay, I pulled out a book today that I kind of want to love. Let's find out if we like this book or not, if we're going to give it a thumbs up. But I love the concept of having grit. Um, if you don't know what that means, then hopefully this book will explain it. But perseverance is a huge word. It means that you stick to something and you fight for what you want that you know is right. But let's find out if this simple little book is a good one. I think it's a cool topic, so I wanted to read about it today, and let's see what we think. All right, you guys? This is a 3.3 accelerated reading level story, and it's a tiny little book, so I'm zoomed really close. Perseverance. I have grit. Wow, there's a long table of contents. What is grit? Imagine you want to get really good at dribbling a basketball, but you keep messing up. What would someone with grit do? Grit is another word for perseverance. That means you have the courage and the toughness to stick with something. Want some examples? There are many people who have probably heard of who you have probably heard of who have to show lots of grit to succeed. Try again. Jane Goodall studied chimpanzees more than 50 years. Her many discoveries made her famous. At first, the chimps would not let Goodall near them. She was frustrated. She needed to study the animals up close. For Goodall, failure was not an option. It took a year of trying, but she finally got the chimpanzees to trust her. Oh, how cute. Think of something new you learned to do in the last year. Did you do it perfectly the first time you tried? Probably not. It is exciting to learn something new, but it takes practice. It takes practice and it takes time. It takes patience. It takes practice and it takes time. Absolutely. To persevere, you take one small step at a time. You did not learn to ride a two-wheeler all at once. Maybe you started with a tricycle. Then training wheels helped you balance. Finally, one day you rode a bike all by yourself. Make a paper perseverance chain. Each time you work on your goal, make another link from colored construction paper. Attach it to your chain. When you succeed, hang it up for everyone to see. Oh, that's a cool way to think about something hard you want to do. Do not be afraid to fail. If you cannot do something the first time you try, that is okay. Failing is a good way to learn. Orville and Wilbur Wright were pioneers. They made history when they flew their airplane back in 1903. But they had failed many times first. The Wright brothers learned from their mistakes. After each failure, the next plane was better. The Wright brothers made the first ever successful flight. There's a picture of it. Can you imagine how much they must have been cheering and screaming about that one? He's flying. We all fail sometimes, and sometimes it gets us down. When you become frustrated, tell yourself, I know I can do this. Remember, even if you fail sometimes, you are still learning. You are getting a little better every time you try again. Getting to your goal is great, but simply trying is also very important. Fighting frustration. Martin Luther King Jr. worked his whole life to change laws that were unfair to African Americans. He believed all people should have the same rights, no matter the color of their skin. King tried to change people's minds with nonviolent protests. Change came very slowly. But King never lost hope. He worked for many years before these laws were changed. Dr. King spoke about his long fight for equal rights. He said, "If you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. But by all means, keep moving." Sometimes it's hard work to persevere. You may feel frustrated. You may feel you will never get to your goal. Be resilient. Like Dr. King, get up, brush yourself off, and try again. Instead of saying, "I can't," say, "I can do it. I can't do it yet, but I'll do it soon, I bet." I love that. That is such a great mindset. I can't do it yet. I can't do it yet. Or you can say, "I can do it soon." You have grit. Once you have achieved your goal, give yourself a pat on the back. You persevered. You did it. Take some time to feel proud. Then find a new challenge to work towards. Perseverance superstar, Malala Yousafzai. Okay, I'm saying her name really badly. Sorry about that. Malala was born on July 12th, 1997, in the country of Pakistan. Some people in Pakistan did not believe girls should be allowed to go to school. 11-year-old Malala did not agree. She bravely spoke out. Even though people threatened her, she went to school, and she encouraged other girls to do the same. On October 9th, 2012, Malala was shot by people who disagreed with her. When she got out of the hospital, she continued to speak out for girls' education. She persevered. And the world listened. In 2014, Malala was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. She is the youngest person to ever receive that honor. It starts with you. Increase your power of perseverance. Here's how. Number 1, make a goal. Then think of the steps you will need to take to get to your goal. Make a checklist so you can cross off each step as you accomplish it. Number 2, use your imagination. Make a picture in your head of how you will feel when you reach your goal. Let that motivate you. That's called having a vision, using your imagination. Having a vision of your goal finishing is so motivational. And number 3, practice, practice, practice. Stick with it a little longer every time you work at your goal. What would you do? Read the story below and imagine what you might do in this situation. You have been trying to learn a new song for weeks, but you keep hitting the wrong notes. Every time you practice, what should you do? Need help getting started? What would you do? What can you say to yourself to boost your confidence? Think about Jane Goodall, the Wright brothers, and Martin Luther King Jr. What would they do? How will you feel once you have learned to play the song perfectly? Character quiz. Do you have grit? Number 1, I always want to play or compete, even if I think I'm going to lose. True or false? Number 2, I would rather try something hard, even if I cannot do it well, than succeed at something easy. True or false? I do not feel bad about myself when I fail at something. I tell myself I will do better next time. True or false? If I cannot do something very well right away, I keep trying. True or false? If you answered with mostly with truths, you are on your way to becoming a perseverance superstar. If you answered mostly false, try to remember that not succeeding just means you need to keep trying. Here's a glossary of different words that were in the book. This one is frustrated. It's a feeling of helpless or discouraged. Non-violent means peaceful, not using physical force. Pioneers, it's the first people to do something. And resilient, it means you're able to bounce back and succeed after facing something difficult. Resilience is pretty cool. That is the end of the book. Pretty cool story. I love it.